Huda said that she does not want to kiss Chris because she does not want to do PDA in public, even though they're constantly being filmed, which means everything that they do is in public. And she already gave him that kitty cat last night. Like, she's crazy. I'm sorry. What are your Huda fans? People call you guys what, hoodlums, hood rats? Like, what are you Huda fans? Listen, we're gonna talk about Huda. We're gonna talk about Chris. We're gonna talk about all the couples. My name is MJ, and we were gonna go through a recap of Love Island over the last week. And I'm also gonna be first talking about Sierra's apology. But let me just say, Love Island has been giving me life. Like, my personality of the last 2 months has been Love Island, and I have not been hating. I've been loving it. And I fixed my volume, so even though when I'm yelling, it wouldn't sound like nails on a chalkboard. You're welcome. So I saw with Sierra's apology, and I am really sad that it's coming to an end. Like, it's crazy. Like, it feels like the entire world has been talking about Love Island, and we've all been on the same page. There have been huge watch parties. I've never seen a watch party. I've never had people do an entire watch party like they're doing for Love Island, unless you're into sports. But going to bars, going to restaurants, and watching Love Island on a TV, that's a new level of fandom. That's a new level of height that Love Island season 7, the show Love Island, has reached. And I'm sure there would be watch parties for Love is Blind if they didn't allow cray people on the show. But they did for Love Island for sure. But it's like entertaining. It's different. But we'll get to that. Let's first get to Sierra's apology. So Sierra Ortega, she is the girl who was coupled up to Nick, and she was kicked off the island just a few nights ago. And so the reason why she came out and did an apology video is because somebody resurfaced posted a screenshot to the world that showed Sierra using an Asian slur, the C slur, saying that, basically explaining as to why she wants to do surgery on her eyes. She no longer wants to have her eyes look C, which is a negative word in itself, to say that you want to look less like a race, which is negative. But she made an apology, basically taking accountability, naming who she hurt, saying that it was okay for her to, leave the show. It was the right punishment, and that she's going to learn and grow. Now, obviously, I'm not part of the Asian community. It's not obviously, but telling you now, I'm not part of any Asian community. So I cannot take this apology and on behalf of any Asian community. But I do have some thoughts. Now, I do think that the sweater that she was wearing and the necklace, she shouldn't have worn any of it, because I think there is some negative discourse around the necklace. Is that apparently it comes from an Asian community, comes from a culture, and people find it offensive that she's wearing it, and with the fact that she used an Asian slur. And then she had the word empathy on a black sweater that she was wearing in the apology. To me, it seemed like even though she has the best of intentions, it does seem like she is somebody may have interpreted that as them mocking members of those Asian community. So I think the apology was good. If I were to look at it, even though it's not my job to, I'm not part of any Asian community, I think the apology is good. I think a lot of people are saying that because she's so media trained, she used to be a social media manager before she got into Love Island, that we should disregard her entire, apology, and her apology is not really sincere. I disagree with that. I mean, if she came on here, started crying and doing all sorts of things, then I would definitely look at her differently. But Sierra's the type of person who's a well-articulated person. She's really good at using the right words to articulate her thoughts and to get across her point. So I would not be surprised that she had made the apology like she did. I think it was really good. I did wish, though, she really identified the pain that she really struck when you use that Asian slur. And she used the time, because millions of people were watching that video, to identify the pain, to identify how this word is very harmful, and to explain where she got it from. So anybody who may be using that word or having friends and family use that word, she can go to, she can teach others in that video and say, you know what, this word is bad. I got it from this. If you know somebody who's using it, you should stop using it if you're using it in that way. And it would have been a really good educational moment. But to say that, and she really didn't identify what she was apologizing for in the actual video, which could be confusing if you don't know what's going on, even though the entire world knows what's going on. It's viral. So I think those are the things I think she would have done better, but it was a good apology, and I wish her all the best. Even though I didn't like the way she moved in the villa. A new bombshell. Let's enter the villa. I've been saying that lately. I don't hate her as a person, and I don't think she's racist either. I do think she probably heard that word growing up and had friends use that word, but even though she didn't use it as a racial slur, she is using it in a negative way. So she really didn't explain that. And she also mentioned as well that somebody did correct her in the past. So, like, why did you repeat the word again? So, I don't know. Anyways, not my job to really take that apology in. It's the members of the Asian communities who can only speak on behalf of that. And based off of some Asian content creators that I've been seeing, some people have mixed feelings about Sierra's apology. So, moving on. So that's Sierra's apology. I wish her all the best. I wonder, but I do want to say, whoever called ICE on Sierra and her family, I really hope God brings you in the depths of hell. I have family members who are immigrants, and to call a government authority on an entire family, especially ICE, people who have been taking people and dropping them in God knows where and putting them in detention centers, may God bring you to the depths of hell. Whoever called CPS on Huda's family and her kid, may God bring you to the depths of hell. I have nothing good to say. And a lot of people saying, how people, you can't treat hate with hate. You can't treat racism with racism. I completely agree with that. But you need to call it as it is. You are a sick individual. If you know anybody who's done it, you need to report them and tell the family that those actions have been impacted by. So I just absolutely not. I love the new fan base. I mean, now that new people are interested into Love Island, a lot of people will then boost up the show. There'll be a lot of money into the show, but because not a lot of people know about Love Island, you'll have people who are not so genuine going on to the show. But then again, this entire cast, let me do a little segue. This entire cast of Love Island has been mostly influencers, and that is the producer's fault. If the producers wanted to cast regular people, I would say Coco is a regular person. Grayson is a regular person. I saw her interview with Chicks in the Office, and she was saying that she's not really on social media, and she really did come there for love. So if they casted more like that, like the UK does, then I think these people, I do think the season would have been better and we'd have seen love. I do agree that what we're seeing right now is a lot of situationships. To be quite honest with you, I don't see most of the couples in Love Island lasting outside of the villa. I'm going to be so honest with you. I'm going to keep it a buck. But let's talk about the things that have been notable over the last week. Obviously, Sierra left and then Nick moved on. Sierra stood behind Taylor in that elimination round instead of any other girl, which showed her colors. And then I think when Sierra confronted Alejandra about it, Alejandra's like, you're dead to me. Now, we haven't seen any conversations from them in regards to that particular situation. So maybe they have, chatted it up and and, but to us, the viewers, it does look like Sierra, is dead to Alejandra. What else has happened? A lot has happened. So I'm gonna go couple by couple. So let's always put with the lighter couples and then the one with the most drama end with that. So Pepe and Iris. I think Pepe and Iris. Do I think it's weird that Pepe is moving so quickly with the new white blonde girls that come into the villa? Absolutely. Not only does he obviously have a type, like these feelings that he apparently has for Hannah, he does not have because he's moving so quickly with these other girls. Now, obviously, he didn't move as quickly with Grayson, but he's moving quickly with Iris. But then again, they've had a built-in friendship. Now, if I was Hannah, I think Hannah did an interview with a streamer. She was on stream with a streamer, I believe. It was maybe just a TikTok. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she was streaming, and they were talking about if Hannah would go back with Pepe if Pepe left the villa, and Hannah goes, "No, we'll be bros. We'll be bros. He's my bro." Because how can we develop such an emotional physical connection for you to go to the next white blonde girl that comes in that's right in front of you? Like, that is insane. And I do think Hannah did expect Pepe to leave the villa and go fight for her at some point after she left, and he never did. And then he just moved on to Grayson, and then he moved on to Pepe. And there were times with Grayson, with the video footage that we saw, that Pepe was into Grayson, you know. And then and I've watched every single episode, okay, and it was quite clear that Pepe liked her. We didn't know at what intensity, at what level it was, until the challenge where, you know, everybody spilling their absolute guts and saying all these things that they've always wanted to say in regards to each and every Islander. And we see that, you know, Pepe didn't really like Grayson. So Grayson left because she was part of the Casa girls who got voted off. And I do believe that Grayson should have gotten a second chance, but we're at the end of I Love Island, so there's nothing much more she could really have done. There's no other guys for her there. I mean, she could have moved to go talk to Nick, I guess, but she already did in the beginning, and it didn't work out. So we have that. I love mi Adrena, and her entire body is real. It's built Dominicana body. Period. I've been loving her TikToks. She's now out making content. And also Austin's girl is out too. Austin left. Taylor's still there. JT left. And Zach Hay also left as well. Taylor left recently, and Clark. So let's go with Taylor and Clark. Obviously, y'all know my opinions on Taylor, and I'm not like a huge Taylor fan. I am not a huge Taylor fan because how he moved with Alejandra. Maybe there's a lot of things that we haven't seen, obviously, for Alejandra to leave a voice note for him when he left. You know, TikTok does this thing where, you know, the Islanders can leave a goodbye note over the phone and they post a TikTok about it. For Alejandra to do that for Taylor, you know, she still looks at him quite fondly. So with that being said, maybe they're friends now, I guess, but I don't think she wants to be. I don't know. But yeah, how Taylor moved with Alejandra and the fact that he hasn't really apologized for what he did to her. I like Clark, and when her makeup routine drops, the way I'll be all on that like butter on toast, you have no damn idea. If you don't know, I do make makeup content on TikTok in addition to giving pop culture takes and reviews and movie and TV show reviews and things like that. So I can't wait. So Clark and Taylor just left the villa. I believe that Clark and Taylor will have an interview with Chicks in the Office, and I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to see how Taylor sees his image and how people portray him on screen. It's going to be like a really interesting awakening for him. And he already has a glimpse. Like he already knows that America doesn't really like him. I would rather vote him off the island, and they already did. I do think Taylor and Clark's relationship, though, is quite genuine. Like, really, really, really genuine. I do think that if they were to stay, I would have honestly voted for them. And you're probably like, who the F do you think you are? If we're talking about love, and I'll get to it. Stick with me. I know you guys probably didn't like that. Hold on, okay? Hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on now. They're the only ones who've chosen each other and have really, really liked each other. They've both really like each other. They're the only ones who've really chosen each other. You know what I mean? And I'll get to that. So I really, even though I don't like Taylor, I love Clark. I really do love Clark. No, not love Clark. I like Clark. And then I'm okay with the relationship. And I honestly would have voted Taylor and Clark. If we're talking about love, if we're talking about love, love. Okay, we're moving on. Let's go to Nicolandria, Nikki and Alandria. So Nick, after Sierra left, Nick decided to go and explore Alandria. Nick has always had a crush on Alandria. Now, I don't know his crush with Alandria is just a crush or infatuation. I don't know if it's really real. I know that he likes Alandria more than Alandria likes him. It does seem okay. Let me just start with this. So Alandria goes. Let me just start here. Alandria goes, yeah, I'll explore with you. Let's give it a try, and she basically speaks to America through the confessionals. Like, America, like, maybe this is fate. Maybe this is the world bringing him and I together. So they explore and they are chatting. Like, I've never seen Nick so happy in these conversations. Nick, in his 36 teeth, I've never seen him so happy. And so I'm thinking in the beginning when they first got back together after Sierra left, like, this might be something. But it's too early to tell if it's really love or not. And we only have a few days in the villa. And I know that I think sometime this week is family night. And I literally can't wait to see how their family members, to see how the family members kind of view this entire situation, this experiment that is Love Island, and to give their takes about each individual, about people's actions. If I bring my mom on here, she would read me to filth. If I did any of what Huda did, she would disown me. Disown me! So, okay. Nicolandria. I think it's too early to tell if it's love. It's obviously they're both yearn for each other. Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, and if I was American, I would be voting, but I'm Canadian, y'all. I think Alandra's been trying to convince Nick. Alandra's been trying to convince herself that she likes Nick. I think she's at a point where she's like, okay, I can see I'm attracted to him. But in the beginning, I don't think that was the case. But I think it's too early to tell if it's love or not, because they just got together. And I really wish they got together later on in the season, instead of so late in the game when we have a few days left before we crown the winner of Love Island. So yes, I would vote Nicolandria if I had the app. But I don't think it's love. I think Nick, and also it's a fair point to also think as well that how Nick has been moving throughout the villa, going from girl to girl to girl to girl, just the way he turns his head so quickly to each girl is weird. I agree. It doesn't seem like Nick really mourned Sierra, but maybe he did. Maybe they cut all of that out. We don't know. We have to remember that this show is heavily produced. Sierra definitely got ready in the morning, so maybe they told her early in the morning, and then all throughout the day Nick was mourning, and then started to have conversation with Alandra later in the day. So Nick is basically surviving and has been doing whatever he can to stay in the villa, but while also being honest with the people that he's attracted to and he has feelings for. I do honestly believe that he has feelings for Alandria. Do I think it's love? I'm not really sure, y'all. I'm not really sure. I think Alandria and Nick have been so cute, and I've been loving their edits. I've been loving their love story, and I think the fact that he called his baby, when they did that baby challenge was the most funny. That was the funniest hour of my life. And we'll get to Ace. Ace was so funny. So funny. My God, he has a career in show business, baby. But the fact that Nick called his fake baby Marcel and his middle name is Marcel, he was meant to date and marry a black woman. Let me tell you, girls. He was meant. Period. So I don't know. Will it work outside the villa? I don't see it working, y'all. I don't see it with, especially with all the fanfare. And you know the fans will do anything to make sure that they're together. They have a huge fan base. I don't know. I think Nick Lander will take a break and see her family and friends and just take a break for herself before she, But I don't know. And I don't know for those two, honestly. Sierra did make a comment on one of the edits of Nicolandria. And she said that whatever happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And people thought it was a threat. People thought it was this, that, and the third. I don't know how Sierra is feeling. I know if I was Sierra, I would be kind of looking at everybody sideways. But if that was a guy looking at Sierra looking inside, I'm sure like nobody would care. And I don't think the guy would be like, oh, I feel a certain way. I mean, I think everybody has been doing everything that they can to stay in the villa, right? Everybody has been trying to stay and not get kicked off. Now, a lot of people are saying it's because they want to win the money, da 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 da. I think it's because they honestly have fun. Like they've developed really strong friendships and relationships, and it's fun to wake up and do nothing all day. All you have to do is eat, do a cheeky challenge, and sleep with a good looking person. Like that sounds like life. Like you don't have to worry about bills, you don't have to worry about any life stressor. You just have to wake up and look pretty. Sign me up. Sign me up. People think it's the money. You're in Fiji. I don't want to go back to Atlanta, New York. Ew. Let's move on. Who's next? Shelly and Ace. So here's my thing with Shelly and Ace. My nose is so itchy. My God. I don't think Shelly likes Ace. I think Shelly likes Ace, but I don't think Shelly will ever marry Ace. I don't think Shelly will have a long relationship outside the villa with Ace. I think they'll have a deep friendship, but I think they're going to cut it off. Why do you say that? Why do I say that? Let me just say this. Before I get to that, let's talk about what has happened to them in the villa. I think Shelly and Ace have chosen each other because there's no one else to choose. Now, Shelly was pursuing Chris and Chris vice versa when it was actually like Chris pursuing Shelly, and Shelly was just like sitting there and just waiting for things to happen. We didn't know that Shelly had like actual feelings for Chris until everything blew up. But like, girl, if you like him, go pull him for a chat. Like, what's wrong with pulling him for a chat? Now, yes, a man should be pursuing a girl, but like, let the guy know that you're interested. To me, it doesn't seem like Shelly let Chris know that I'm so interested into you, even though like I'm still having this beef with Ace. You know what I mean? And when Chris and Shelly had that conversation and they sat down and they talked about their connections and they kind of like squashed whatever they had after that male challenge, it does seem like Shelly wanted to get back with Chris. She was like, so you have your connection and I have my connections, or it's either she was trying to get with Chris again, or she does not know how to say, hey, I don't like you like that. I'm gonna explore my connection. You know what I mean? But I would have just said like it was a blast getting to know you. I'm gonna explore my connection with Ace. I wish you all the best with Huda, and yeah, that's really it. Like I'll see you around the villa. Like it ain't that serious. So I do think if Chris was really into Shelly, I think Shelly would pursue with Chris, without a doubt. I'm sorry. If Chris was still into Shelly, Shelly will still pursue Chris, without a doubt. So even throughout the baby challenge too, like Shelly and Ace did not really work together. It was really just Ace with the baby, and Shelly does admire Ace and admire his spontaneity, his creativity, his tenacity, he's so animated. You know what I mean? Shelly really does admire that. But I don't know who it was, but I think it was somebody. one of the other islanders, asked Shelly, do you want kids? And she goes, yeah. Instead of saying, yeah, I want kids, Shelly goes, with the right partner, yeah, I do want kids. You know, to me, I don't know. And then like all the comments Shelly has made about Ace's height, you know what I mean? Like in the beginning, even with like, you know, when Shelly was pursuing Austin and Ace, Shelly would say, oh my God, I really like Austin's like height and his tattoos. And I really like Ace's personality and his demeanor and character. I just wish I got Austin's height and Ace's personality, demeanor, and character. Remember Shelly said that? But maybe they've developed a more deeper connection since then. But honestly, I just think they're just happy to be there and be there together with somebody that they respect, you know, and they're both attracted to. Do I think they're gonna have a long distance, like a relationship outside of this? No. But do I think Shelly's type of person to be like, deuces, everybody, I'm famous. Everybody, I don't know y'all. No, but I do think Shelly's type of person who knows what she wants. And even though Ace I think Ace is an incredible, strong, you know, funny human being, smart human being, I don't think Shelly wants to have kids and get married to him. That's my opinion, based off of what Shelly has said out of her mouth. Because I'm looking at her words and I'm looking at her actions now. However, we did have the basketball challenge, right? And while the boys were playing basketball, Shelly was, you know, kept saying, oh my God, I want my man to come back. I miss my man. Thank you to my man. Thank you to my man. I want my man to come back, right? She wanted Ace to come back. So maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm seeing. Who else is next? Oh my God, Amaya Papaya. Excuse me. Amaya Papaya. I love her. Okay. If I had the app, I would probably vote either Ace and Shelly, Amaya Papaya, and Taylor and Clark if they were still in. If now Taylor and Clark is in this night, I'll vote Amaya Papaya and Ace and Shelly. Because honestly, for love, I did say Taylor and Clark, but also love Ace and Shelly. Ace and Shelly. They have like the type of love where it's kind of like married couple love. Like even when they were doing that baby challenge, Ace and Shelly look like a married couple taking care of the kids. Like Shelly looks like she went to go make breakfast, and Ace is holding it down at home, you know, taking care of the kids. Like that was so beautiful to see, and the fact that they got dead last in the damn challenge, I totally disagree with whatever the producers were saying. Amaya Papaya and Brian. I do think Brian is horny and Amaya is horny, but Amaya is more genuine and she knows what she wants. I do think Brian looks at Amaya as a pretty brilliant, gorgeous girl. Who just wants his hands, like he just wants to touch that. You know what I mean? That's what I look at Brian. Because they haven't had any substantive conversations, and every single time Amaya would bring up something, he just wants to kiss her, which is cute. But let's hear Amaya talk about something of substance, you know? And sometimes we do see that with Brian, sometimes we don't. And even when Amaya is talking about something of substance, Brian is literally looking at Amaya as if he's going to eat her. Right? She goes, yeah, so I don't really do clubs. I do speak easies. I do lounges. I'm just over that in my 20s. And Brian goes, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, Brian, calm down. Can I have a conversation with you without all of that? Danger. So I wasn't mad that they went to the Hideaway. Traditionally, when couples go to the Hideaway, is they give it to couples who want to have a blossoming love, and they haven't been to explore it in a way that they want to because their connection is so strong, or a couple who's really in love, right? Now, everybody has been eating that kitty without the hideaway every night. So, like, who wants to do that? I think it would have been made sense. I do agree with a lot of others online who are saying that Ace and Shelly should have been there, because we haven't seen Ace and Shelly being that, like, being sexy to one another. We've seen them being sweet, romantic. I've seen them being funny, but I haven't seen him touch that ass. You know what I mean? I haven't seen him do that. But I know that, like, even after the baby challenge, everybody was getting ready for bed, and Ace was kissing Shelly's stomach, and Shelly goes, "Why are you doing that?" And he goes, "We're gonna make another baby." And Shelly goes, "No, we're not." Like, it's cute, but I'm like, Shelly, are you really mean? No, you're not. Like, you don't like him, or you don't want to hear, like, because everybody's doing bound chicken. Like, one is like, other one's like, everybody's doing bound chicken wow in the bed. Like, nobody wants to calm down with it. Like, calm down with it. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to, and I don't want to be the person who, like, slut shames, but, like, wow. Why are we doing all of that? Especially in front of other people. And they, like, don't they know that they're being filmed? Like, I asked, like, don't you guys know you guys are being filmed? At least Iris and JT went to Soul Ties to go sleep and do all of that. I don't mind if couples did that if they're deep in their connection. Like, if Ace and Shelly started to do that this week, I would love that, right? But Huda and Jeremiah started to do that first week. You know, let's talk about Huda. What about Huda? Huda scares me. She does, girls. She does. And those of you who are like, oh, Huda hate is so forced, I can give you 100 clips. 100 clips from the last 2 months that proves my point and a lot of people's points. 100 clips. And for those of you who are like, oh, she's so relatable. So if you relate to that, if you're doing that, go seek therapy. Go seek therapy. Huda moves through the world in a trauma mindset. She's not in the present a lot of the times. She's either doing something to prevent something from happening or making sure she doesn't prevent a mistake that she made in the past. Or she doesn't do a mistake that she did in the past, you know? Huda is in this perpetual traumatized state. To tell a man that you opened your legs to the night before that you don't want to kiss him in the daytime tells me several things, yeah? Number one, she has not changed. Because I know some of y'all like, oh my gosh, she has changed. No, she hasn't changed. And I'll get to the other examples. Because again, we have 100 clips. 100 clips that proves that point. She hasn't changed. Number two, that girl's traumatized. I need to go home and go seek therapy. Number three, she doesn't like Chris. With Jeremiah, she could not get her hands off Jeremiah during the daytime. She always was near him. Even when they were making breakfast, even when they were exercising, they were like this. Like this. You know? To tell somebody that you have a romantic connection that is bringing that I don't want to kiss you in public, but I'll open my legs to you at night on a bed that's in a room with 10 other people that can hear our smack sounds, our bound chicka wow wow sounds. It doesn't make any sense. And some of y'all like, oh, she doesn't want to kiss in front of the islanders. That's fine. Okay. But explain that. Use your words and explain that. And the fact that in her mind, she honestly thinks that what she's saying is correct. She literally said, "Oh, I'm doing this because America and the people judge me for kissing too much and kissing Jeremiah too much." No. Huda, we judged you because you were verbally abusive. You were manipulative. You were two-faced with the guys and the girls. You were calling B names behind people's backs. And you were love bombing Jeremiah. You were calling him your husband. You know, how many kids you guys would be having. Like, what you guys would be doing outside the village. Like, things like that. Right? And even Jeremiah would be so uncomfortable when you would be calling him husband. You know what I mean? I get what people are saying when they go, okay, Huda just doesn't want to kiss in front of the islanders, but great. Use your words to explain that. And Chris is like, this girl does not like me. She does not want to have any affection or PDA in the daytime, but she only wants to do that at night. She's embarrassed of me. And that's a fair feeling to have. How Huda acted in the baby challenge was weird. Again, she was traumatized. She was triggered by a baby. She even said it, too, when she had the baby. Oh, it's giving me PTSD. What doesn't give you PTSD, girl? What doesn't give you PTSD? For real, for real. I really hope when she leaves this villa that she does not end up dating anyone and she goes seeks help. Like, for real. And the thing is, if Huda didn't do everything that she did to Jeremiah, I would have really liked her, honestly. I would have liked her. She's so secure in her body. And that's the one thing, too, which is so interesting. She's so secure in her body. She has body yaddy yaddy. She seems like a smart girl. She's an independent woman. She persisted through hard times with her kid. Like, she seems like a person that I would like, right? But the things that she said and done, especially to the girls, even behind their backs, I just can't condone. And, like, the fact that Huda can go from 0 to 100, like, really quickly. And I would get it for if you went 0 to 100 really quickly if your point was valid, but her point's not valid. Like, it does not make any sense. And Huda always looks at herself as a victim. She's always a victim. God forbid someone needs to process their emotions, give them time to process and articulate their emotions. God forbid that they're angry with you. It's okay if they're angry with you. We're not all supposed to be lovey-dovey. Oh my God, I love you. And I also do find it weird if you just met a girl, you call them, you say I love you. I think that's weird too. I think it's weird. You don't love me, you don't know me. How can you love me when you don't know? How can you love what you don't know? So Huda and Chris. I mean, Huda during the baby challenge was really weird. Chris should not have said, shut up. But I understood why he said it. He should have said it in a different way. Like, okay, I get it. Please calm down. You know, instead of saying a girl, shut up. Like, that was rude. And Chris should not have suppressed his feelings. But he suppresses his feelings because he does not want to upset Huda. Because she thinks what she's doing is correct. Right? I feel like I've met a girl like Huda before. A complete crazy person. I think I've met a girl like Huda. A girl who acts crazy and does crazy things to you. Doesn't apologize until you confront them with it. And they don't want you to tell other people about their craziness. They don't want you to go tell them about the situation because they don't want other people to know that they're crazy. She's crazy. Why did you, MJ? Why did you go tell her about that? So they don't end up seeing your true colors, like what I just saw. I think it's completely fine if Chris went to get advice from his friends, Brian, Taylor, Nick, I think it's completely fine for Chris to go and do that. For Huda to tell him, you can't speak to no one but me. You can't tell anybody's business. No, like, you need to speak to somebody about the things that she's doing, because it's not healthy. It's toxic. And it's weird. If she wanted to take it slow, she wouldn't have, and this is my opinion, and that's why I think a lot of the Islanders are just straight up horny. I think she should not have opened her legs at night if she really wanted to make everybody on the same page and go slow. But that's me. That's me. But do what you want, right? Huda should not have interrupted Chris 3 times, but Chris is kind of seeing the real Huda, you know? Chris didn't see the real Huda. Chris has been trying to keep the real Huda under the lid, right? And I know some of y'all are Huda fans are thinking this, you know, she hates Huda. I don't hate her, but I feel sad for her. I feel pity. I think you guys like her because you guys see yourself in Huda, but that's not a good thing. You know? Yes, she's relatable. There are girls who've done what she's done, but those things that she's doing are not good things. So if you're doing the things that Huda's doing in real life to real people, you need to go to those people and apologize, or to fix it and make sure you don't do it again. Okay? I feel bad for Huda. I feel sad for Huda. I feel sad for Chris. I do. Huda and Chris are gonna be the next ones voted out of this entire villa, and it's time, and they should get voted off. I don't think there's a connection. I don't think it's gonna last outside of the villa. And all of y'all were making fun of JT, who were going, "You like being dominant, right? You like being dominant." And I never made fun of him because I knew exactly what he was talking about. Huda is a controlling person. She's controlling. She must have the last word. You must treat her in a certain way. You know, she's controlling. And that's what JT was coming across. It's like, oh, I don't like you being controlling like that. Like, I like to take the reins too. You know what I mean? It's a partnership. I was right. Like, I knew what JT was saying. Like, Huda's controlling. So, y'all who are Huda fans, leave your comments down below, because I really want to see how you guys view this. I myself think Huda needs deep help, and Love Island will never pull Huda because she has brought the ratings to the show through the roof. And I would say this, without Huda, the show would have still been good, but it wouldn't have been amazing and as popular as it is right now. Right? So we still have to give Huda her props. She showed her authentic self, even though authentic self is not healthy. Her authentic self that brought up the ratings, and that forced a lot of people who did not know that Love Island exists. A lot of men are watching it over at the NBA Finals. You know, it was because of her and her midnight ballerina dance moves. I just feel bad too for all of them, honestly, when they get back to the real world and they see how the world has been viewing them on screen. They're probably like, oh, you know, some people, you know, maybe some things have gone viral. A lot of people don't know. No. The fact that CNN reported on Sierra's apology or the Sierra scandal, that's insane to me. That means that it's beyond viral. People are doing watch parties at restaurants, pubs. It's beyond virality. It's it is the show. It is what everybody's talking about. If you don't, if you're even if you're not watching the show, you know what the show is. You know, and somebody who's watching it. I love it. It's been giving me life for the last few months. I haven't been really excited or passionate about a lot of things lately, and this show has been grounding me and giving me something to look forward to. I am gonna have to find something to fill in the gap while the show, when the show ends. I'm for those of you who are wondering what that next thing could be, I'm suggesting The Summer I Turned Pretty, just dropping July 16th, I believe. I can't wait. I'll try and do. I'll see if I could do weekly recaps on the show, because I think they're gonna drop an episode every single week instead of just dropping the entire 10 episodes, 12 episodes at once, like streaming services usually do. And it's gonna be on Amazon Prime. I'll definitely be doing recaps on TikTok, and we'll see what type of recaps I end up doing here. Don't look at my nails. I'm gonna redo them this weekend. So, yeah, I know people are gonna be watching Villa Islanders Beyond the Villa with Serena and Cordell and Janae. I'm done with Love Island. I think it's been fun, but watching more of it, if it's good, then I'll watch it. But I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We'll see what other TV movies are up and see what else is happening in pop culture. But usually around this time, it's quite mellow. I'm not really traveling much. I think I am going to. I think I'm traveling in the next couple of weeks. I might do some traveling in August. We'll see. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts. And thank you so much for tuning in. This has been really fun. I will be coming back and doing my recap for the Love Island reunion. I think that will definitely be dropping. And also doing my recap on the final episode. I might go live on TikTok on Sunday night when it finally drops and go from there. And yeah, I'm just so excited for everybody, for the Islanders. I'm excited for Amaya. I'm excited for Alandria. I'm excited for Shelly. The racism against Shelly Alandra is definitely forced. It's definitely forced. Yes. BuzzFeed, you're canceled. That oatmeal company, you're canceled. This knuckle sandwich. So, anyways, I'm loving those girlies. Oh, and I do love Iris. I do love Iris too. I love Iris. I love all the girls that's left. So, like, if it's any of the girls that's left, I'm happy with all four. I know a lot of people voted Iris and Pepe because they're the most non-dramatic couple. There's nothing, there's nothing problematic about them, but there's also nothing like bad about them, something about great about them. They're just like, wow, you know what I mean? But I want Shelly and Ace to win. I want Alandria and Nick to win. I want Amaya Papaya to win. So we'll see how it goes. Those are my real takes. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to follow, hit subscribe, and catch me on TikTok. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.